Have you started noticing things that you once were interested in are just not that interesting anymore? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to share with you why you may be going through that and other things in this video. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me now 10 years in the game as a nomad slash expat. I am on my fourth country, third continent. This is my third residency, first time having permanent residency in Lusaka, Zambia, the southern region of Africa. And so what I started doing is sharing with you some of the things I've learned along this 10-year journey. And also, if you're thinking about becoming an expat or already one, why you should be looking into Zambia also for the opportunities that exist here in this southern region of Africa that the media is not showing you. And so let's go ahead and get into today's video. So I actually have my notes on this one. Like, this is something I was really doing a bunch of deep dive studying today while I was reading and while I was actually watching different shows on YouTube. Like, one thing I like about some of these YouTube reality shows is you really get to see the human psyche from a society point of view. And it's very interesting because most people still have that belief that they can't be identified behind a keyboard, but you'd be surprised what technology's out there and what people can find out about you. And it don't take many keystrokes. And so what I did for the title of this is life has evolved into a new era. Like, we're used to the industrial era and all of those different things, the Renaissance era, but we're not aware of when we're actually going through the phase of an old era to a new era. And what I mean by that is, let's go back to the Wright brothers. When they first got that contraption, what we now call aircrafts, off the ground for a few seconds, everyone believed they were quacks. Everyone thought they were crazy. No one was celebrating them. And this is what history and school do not teach us. When we're going through the era, we criticize the ones who are actually progressing us to the new movement. They are going against the grain, against the foundation. And you're seeing that at every single core of society right now. You're seeing how liberal and conservatism isn't the same anymore. Democracy and freedom, those words don't look the same as they used to. And a lot of people are now starting to go against that. But it's going on even deeper levels, like archaeological. If you're not someone who's real big into archaeology, you're not understanding probably right now that there's people on the internet who are disproving most of modern human history. The things that we're being taught as factual truths, we're discovering new ancient societies that predate the Egyptians almost each and every month. Like, there's new sites that are being found and discovered. A lot of things in the world is slowly changing. Science is being questioned. Like, now how you may have seen the thing with Terrence Howard where he's saying 1 × 1 = 2. There are new thoughts of mathematics, new thoughts of quantum physics in the spirituality realm. Everything in this human physical existence is now starting to shift because things have evolved. The catalyst for this evolution, which most people don't realize, was COVID. During the pandemic, when the world shut down, business shut down at a global level, but your physical life did not shut down. Even though, like, I was locked in our house for majority of the time in Colombia, and was only able to leave on specific days, I did not stop growing as an individual. The way you perceive the world changed just the same way as the way I perceived the world changed. And what happened when you change your perception, everything that you now hold as truth, you're starting to question. And this is what, on a psychological level, no one is talking about. This is why you starting to see a lot of people getting more distant from friends and family. A lot of people are really starting to question everything that they held true in their life. People are also, this is where you're seeing, like, the whole battle between men and women. A lot of women are questioning, why should I just cook and clean for you? What are you providing? What stability are you giving me? Like, things like that. And most guys are saying, why should I just be giving you money? Like, what stability are you giving me? See, people are using different words, but they're saying the same things. And so they're actually fighting against a lot of traditional norms. And this is what is happening. It's because individualism actually increased. We went less and less from this hive mentality. And what I mean by hive mentality, for you to be able to understand it or maybe see it a little bit clearly, maybe think about how animals have like a natural pack mentality, an animal instinct, which is below the human instincts. And so when you see an animal, there's things that they just innate know how to do from birth. You see it all throughout the animal kingdom. However, with humans, we have to be programmed. We are literally an empty hard drive that is waiting for all the operating programs to be put in there. So because we're not able to write our own operating system from birth, it is written for us from our society, from our family, and from our close friends. And so what you're seeing now is with the increase of individualism due to COVID, when people were locked and isolated, it started making people finally start to question some of these major questions that we don't usually ask ourselves. What do I want to do? Where do I want my life to be? Am I happy with this? Like, most of us have never been taught the question, am I happy? Do this relationship make me happy? Do this job make me happy? Am I being fulfilled? And that is what the pandemic actually pushed. When you start isolating people on a psychological level, you start asking yourself very deep, dark questions like, why am I not the happiest that I can be? Why am I still at this job that I've been working and knowing I don't even want to go anymore? I'd rather go pursue my passion. And this is what we're starting to see in the world. And so it's actually a really, really good thing. And most of the people actually fall into these three areas. There's a lot more areas, but these are the main three that I've seen from people that I've met since the pandemic of how their life changed. They started questioning mortality a little. And they be saying stuff like, I want to be healthier. How can I be healthier? Like, why can't I go run a marathon or something like that? You see a lot of people now that's newly getting involved into running marathons and doing those type of things. Here's another instinct, and this is another way that how people started falling into this category. They started asking these questions or saying these things to themselves. I don't want to be broke. I remember I said that clear as day. And then or barely scraping by. I remember I told myself that a little while after I got out of the military, about 4 or 5 years before I left the U.S. And I was like, look, man, I don't want to be broke. I like to be able to provide things for myself. I like to be able to not think about how much something's going to cost. Do I need to try to move this bill around? I remember those days of having a payday loan. I had a payday loan on my 95 Cadillac DeVille. It was for $1,000. I don't remember the reason why I got it, but I was one of those, once I pay this off and I'm going to get this car off, I'm getting my title back. Long story short, I never got the title back. I ended up just letting them repossess the car. It was to the point where paying the payday loan was more than what the title loan was worth, and I could have just went and got a new car. And I'm sharing that because I was a person that was making bad financial decisions. And that's why sometimes people don't get where it's like, I do still have a little bit of a healthy fear of, I don't want to be broke. I don't like that feeling. I don't like knowing if I don't have enough money to put gas in the car, or back when you was able to put just $10 in the car just to get by for a few days. I didn't like that feeling. And so I don't want it now. I started asking and saying these things to myself. And I remember saying too, I don't want to just barely scrape by. I'm like, man, I went to war. At the end of the day, I'm like, this country should have gave me millions and millions of dollars to take care of my life. But I'm like, I don't want to barely scrape by. And when I started saying those things to myself all those years ago, I started changing my perception around me. I started seeing opportunities to learn how to save money, learn how to budget money better. That's how I've ran into Dave Ramsey and Susan Osborne, all of those people. Then went to Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins doing his money mastery class, Bob Proctor. This is how I got into these things. I didn't just get these things from birth. I wasn't someone who was born with the ability to fully understand money and opportunities. And then other category that a lot of people are falling into when they was going through the pandemic was they were saying things like, "I want an opportunity," which they want an opportunity, but it ranged from different levels. Because remember, everything is a level. Like whenever we talk about things, it's at a level from low to high. Even a positive thing has a low positive and a higher positive. There's always levels and steps to everything. And so some of them range from as little as they just want a second chance at life. And this is where you're seeing a lot of people go and become an expat, because they're like, look, I just want to do this life all over again, man. Let me go and be peaceful. Let me relax, and let me just live out the rest of my days in paradise and be happy. That was one of my motivating factors to leave. I did not actually leave the United States focused on becoming a businessman. Being a businessman was the last thing on my list. I just wanted to be able to live out the rest of my days in peace. I didn't want to be worried about people coming with guns, hearing gunshots, being profiled by the police. I just didn't want to deal with none of that. I didn't want to deal with racism anymore. I was to the point where it's like, none of this stuff makes any sense. After coming back from the Iraq War, a lot of things that normal society was dealing with just didn't make sense to me anymore. And I was just like, I don't want to deal with these. And then you may even be on the other side of the spectrum, which is where I'm at now, is I want to go where my money provides me more. I worked hard from every US dollar that I earn. I'm not going to take that away from anybody who gets a government pension or anybody that's in the military, especially when they went to war like I did. So like, I want every single one of my dollars to go make more money for me. I want them to multiply. Like one of my favorite affirmation songs is my money is like a bunny. It goes forth and multiply. My money is like a bunny. So I want to be in countries where my money goes and multiplies right off the bat. Here in Zambia, $1 US multiplies by 28 kwacha. You're living a good life here. Like I continue to tell people, and I'm going to always explain this to you, it is better to go become a millionaire overnight or over a year in another country that is safe and that are established, like Zambia is, than it is to stay in the US and be struggling and trying to build yourself up in a system that is already overpriced of your budget. Like that's one of the things no one is talking about. If you come to Zambia and your currency exchanges over to where a year you're bringing in over $1 million, you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire in their economy. And so you're able to do more things than the average person, especially if you have control over your finances and over your spending. And so I wanted to share this because like I really want you to understand, like, we're in a new era. We're in an era now that has changed. If you're trying to do things on the same pattern or wavelength as how things were before COVID, it's not going to really work out for you. AI is going to eventually take the majority of the stuff that's going on that we don't even need anymore. And so just think about that. Like, where do you want to be? Like, you don't have to be in the United States anymore. You can still live a Western lifestyle outside of your home countries. You can become more financially stable in another currency and a lot faster just based off your money multiplying. And also, you can have peace. Don't believe this American dream myth that America is the greatest country in the world. It's the most peaceful country in the world. It's one of those, what's that old saying? The squeaky screw, get the WD-40 or the oil or something, whatever that thing is. But it's like the squeaky, the one that's making all the noise to get the oil, usually means there's more problems there. The ones that you're not probably hearing about are the ones that are more stable and things are more normal. And I just wanted to share that, man, because it's just one of my little things. And this is why when people are like, "Are you ever going back to the US?" No, there's no point. There's literally no point to go back unless I want to visit friends or family. But besides that, I have no reason to go live there again. Like right now, it is 7:15 p.m. While I'm filming this, it is pitch quiet. Oh, I'm sorry, a car just drove by on the street. I don't hear no nonsense all day. It is peaceful. The gates and the entrance is closed. It's security. Like, this is what life is like in some other countries. You get to just be free and focus on whatever you want. And so, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Also, you will be seeing pretty soon some footage leaving. Next week, I'm going to be on a little road trip for 2 days, going out to the eastern region to do some things. Once I finish and all the information I get back, I will be letting you know. But I will be just filming that on the action camera while we're in the car, so that way you can see what does the countryside of Zambia look like driving all the way to the eastern province. I don't know. It's my first time. So we'll be going through that together. And just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.